just off it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Questions of Life. Today's question was posed by Uchiha, and he asks, what additions would you make to the school curriculum? Now I'm overplaying this with some Dark Souls gameplay. I think throughout the course of these weeks I've moved from Demon Souls, Dark Souls 3, and then into Dark Souls. I think the next time we have another round of questions, you might see me playing Dark Souls 2. But anyways, I digress. So, the wording of the question implies that the current system remains the same, but there would be classes added to the curriculum. So I'm going to answer the question with that in mind. Some of the suggestions I'm going to make may already be implemented in other schools, but I am drawing upon my experience in my schools. So after some reflection on the question and my personal beliefs about school, I came up with 3 things that should be added to American academia. First, a computer or internet course should be added. Second, agreeing with Uchiha, schools need a money management type of class. And lastly, I believe there should be a philosophy-orientated type of class added as well. Now, my first point was a computer or internet literacy course. As we move further into the age of robots, AI, and online services, more people become exposed to computers and the internet. The internet has become pretty much an essential for modern-day communication. As a result, more people should know how to use and fix their devices. You'd be astounded at how many people don't know the age-old tradition of turning your computer on and off to fix pretty much anything. Examples of what the course would offer are learning the differences in file types, using Task Manager or the equivalent in your computer, or discerning trustworthy websites. There's more that I can think of, but perhaps the topic itself doesn't offer much in the way of a semester-long course. It could be attached to a mandatory safety education course or something similar, like the ones that we have in elementary school or middle school. Now, the second point that I made was a mandatory money management class that would be added. I agree with Uchiha on this point. In our high school, we had an optional money management class that showed me and him and plenty of other students the basics of handling money. And I think that should be required for high schoolers. I would also go as far as adding a specified taxes course, such as the one that Uchiha describes in his video, as an optional sort of course. So they would be required to have a basic understanding of how to do your taxes and other money-related things, and the specified course would then impart knowledge about deductions and tax forms and W-2s, W-4s, and all of these other things that you get bombarded with when you first sign up for a job, when you do your taxes for the first time, etc., etc. I can somewhat get by with the free tax stuff, but it would be nice if I didn't have to go to a professional and pay them to figure out something that the government believes that I can do without help, if that makes sense. Now, my last point is that there should be a philosophy-oriented type of course. This class would challenge students to think about what they are learning critically. Often I have heard the laments of children and adults alike, math, history, etc., whatever it is useless, or when am I ever going to use this? Often the response to these is that a student needs to learn these things to pass high school or get into college, and this sweeping under the rug gets people into the habit of denouncing the skills they learnt in school as useless because the only reason they see in learning those skills was to graduate or pass some standardized tests so they can get into college or, whatever other tests you have in high school. And that's as far as their thinking takes them. And they miss out on the beauty of figuring out how to use those skills in their own life. So I'm going to make an analogy here that I believe is pretty accurate to the things we learn in school, to knowledge in general. So consider a toolbox, which comes with all sorts of tools, both big and small, but for a majority of your life you only ever end up using the Phillips head screwdriver. Now, you might think that the rest of the tools in your toolbox are pretty useless. So the point that I am trying to make here with the analogy is that, the things you learn in school are like those tools in your toolbox. They aren't useless just because you can't seem to figure out what the use for them is. It's not entirely clear to you. Now, what I believe a philosophically oriented class would do is help students come to realize they can, in fact, apply everything that they've learned in ways they've never expected themselves. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the matter. So, that's it for the video. Remember, drive fast, take chances.